Today, in this in this lecture, our lecture is going to be projectile motion. This is a type of motion. As we know, motion, which means object is moving. If object is moving, object its state is changing with respect to time. So this is a definition of motion. Object is moving, it means that object will be covering distance, that object will be covering distance with respect to time. Everything will happen in the term of motion. So that happening thing will be covering time. That's why we say that object is moving with respect to time. So this projectile motion, it is a type of motion. Okay, which type of motion? Projectile motion, which means the object will go to and to and fro. This type of motion, like that. This type of motion. When we throw a when we throw a object with some velocity, then this path of motion of this going stone is known as projectile motion. And details we are going to cover in this lecture. Projectile, which name is projectile motion. Which name is projectile motion. Now let's start our journey. Yeah, here you go. Projectile motion. When a body is projected in effect of gravity in such a manner that its path is parabolic. Parabolic means like that. This will be parabolic. Meaning of parabolic is I am talking about this. Parabolic, it can be considered as a path of motion which looks like that. This is the shape of a parabolic. You will see that you will see like that motion when something was thrown. It can be any kind of object. For example, we can consider a stone. A stone was thrown in that way. So this motion of throwing object is our parabolic motion. Okay, this is the shape of a parabolic. It's called parabolic motion. Projectile motion is an example of a 2D motion. It happens. This is an example of a 2D motion. This a projectile motion is an example of a 2D motion, but we can't say that this cannot happen when it comes to 3D motion. No, it is not true. Yeah, this projectile motion can also happen in dimension. In three dimension, there are two types of projectile motion: oblique or angular projectile motion. Just angular word is added with the projectile motion, and second is horizontal projectile motion. I think oblique is nothing but it should be vertical. It should be vertical. It should be this oblique or angular projectile motion. It should be, according to me, I think so. It is nothing but vertical. But I can't say with a guarantee that this is a vertical motion because it is not making any kind of any anyhow it is not making sense for vertical motion. Oblique, I'm talking about oblique. Yeah, horizontal projectile, I can explain it. Projectile motion means a object is going in this direction. It can go in this direction or it can go in west direction, in east direction or in west direction. This is the meaning of horizontal projectile motion. Now let's explore in details about all these two types of projectile motion. As we saw, first is oblique or angular projectile motion. So definition is when a body is projected in effect of gravity in such a manner that its path is parabolic is called projectile motion. If anything is being thrown and under gravity, in that case, if you are observing motion which looks like a parabolic, then you can consider. But remember that motion should be in gravity. Okay, that motion should act in effect of gravity. Then you can consider that kind of motion as a projectile motion. Okay, because projectile motion will happen always under gravity, I would say. Now oblique or angular projectile motion, when a body is thrown at an angle from horizontal, means like that, this is horizontal, and from here when a when something is thrown with some angle, with some angle with some angle, then motion under gravity is known as oblique projectile motion. If this projectile motion is happening under gravity, then this will be known as your oblique projectile motion. Okay, oblique projectile motion. As you can see, we have a figure for understand for getting clarity. Here, this is known as a vertical direction, you can say, or vertical line. This line is considered as a horizontal line. When object is going in this direction, we will call it as a horizontal direction. When object is going upward, we will call it as a vertical direction. It is along the object is along y-axis, the object is along x-axis. That is how you can call it. Okay. In this, you have to understand is that the object will be covering some distance, and that object will be covering this horizontal line. At the same time, that object will be also covering this vertical line. I mean, at the same time, at the same time, any object will be covering this two axes. That's why we call it as a two dimension. When object is covering three dimension, we can when object is covering three axes x y z, then we call it as a three dimension. But in this figure, as we can see, this point is covering two dimension, this y axis and this x axis, or you can say in other word that this object is covering this horizontal axis and this vertical axis. This is a way to call it. Okay, so this object is going it is covering also in this, and it is also going upward. This is going in straight direction and it is going also upward. both things happening Both things are happening at the same time. For example, from initial to till here, over here, let's just say this was one, so this object covered 1 unit in x-axis, and at the same time we can see this went upward with 1 unit. You can say it covered 1 unit in upward direction. Okay, that is how you will interact with this type of figure. This type of motion we can see in our daily life. It happens in our world. That's why it is studied. Physics is a study of nature. Whatever is happening in our daily life, whatever is happening in the world, according to nature. So we analyze, or you can say we study the phenomena of nature, the phenomena of nature, of world, you can say. Not everything, but the phenomena of nature we observe, we study as a calculation, you can say, or as a theory. Now definition over here is written over here. Definition. One definition we have seen, which was about projectile motion. Now next definition is about when a body is thrown at when a body when a body is thrown at an angle. Yeah, till here we are crystal clear. From horizontal. Yeah, then motion under gravity is known as oblique projectile motion. In short, we understood about it that was a projectile motion is happening under gravity, then we can call it as a oblique projectile motion. That's just here oblique word is added. That's it. That's it. Now let me move. Concept reminder. This will help you. Right now we are just understanding the concept of projectile motion, you can say, or you can say that we are understanding the concepts about this sector, so that we can understand easily the questions that will become here. Try to understand this vertical. When it comes to mathematics, then this vertical we will call it as a u sin theta. When it comes to this horizontal, we will call it as a u cos theta. Means this u is nothing but a something object will be thrown with some velocity. So that velocity we will consider as a u, Okay, that velocity. So u, then we have multiplication cos theta. So cos theta is for this cos theta is for horizontal and sin theta is for vertical. Okay, u is nothing but it is a value. This is a symbol, or you can say this is a letter, just for considering a velocity. With how much velocity a object was thrown, so that velocity we will consider as a u. Okay, so u multiple this, we will get this path, parabolic path. Have a look over here. The shape of the trajectory means this parabolic. It is talking about this parabolic. The shape of the trajectory of motion of an object is not determined by acceleration alone, but also on initial conditions like initial velocity. This parabolic motion will not depend only on acceleration, it will also depend on initial velocity. With how much velocity? So that initial velocity will be initial. For example, the trajectory of motion under gravity can be straight line or parabolic. Yeah, it is saying this can be straight like that, or it can be like that. But when it comes to parabolic, so parabolic is a combination of this and this. It will be curved, not straight. The parabolic will be curved, not straight. But straight means straight. Straight can be vertical, it can be horizontal. I hope you are understanding. There are some points, I would say, some points. Look at over. For x axis, as we were considering a horizontal line as a u cos theta, so that x-axis u cos theta, so we say that u means initial velocity of throwing throwing object, so ux means u cos theta is for x. Okay, ax means acceleration of object which is going, which is along x-axis, so that we are talking about that thing. Okay, object which is covering horizontal axis, or you can say x-axis, so acceleration at that time, acceleration of x axis. Remember, these are some points that we have to keep remember while solving questions. It is saying acceleration of x-axis will be zero when question is not giving you acceleration of x-axis or acceleration of horizontal. Then you have to consider, you have to consider at that time when question is not providing acceleration of a horizontal line, acceleration of a x-axis is this much that much, in that case you can consider as that acceleration as a zero. Okay, so ax will be zero. Fx, I think force, it should be force. Yeah, force. So fx this is also zero. Now when it comes to for y-axis, so uy means velocity, velocity along y-axis, velocity of y-axis will be our u sine theta. U means velocity of initial velocity of stone, and sine theta is for y. Acceleration along y-axis, it is happening under gravity. Okay, this is in air, so whatever is the air in air, but in this context, we will say that a there is a motion which is happening, so in that case a object which is in air, for this we have a acceleration which will be minus 10. Okay, so acceleration, of course object will be going upwards, so acceleration will be downwards, so that's why we take negative, so negative minus 10, so minus 10 is a constant for this projectile motion. Okay, yeah, here acceleration for vertical will be constant. This is constant. A is equal to z. So our force for y will be minus, because z, we took z, a a, so a is equal to z, a is equal to z, mg. So z is here, it is downwards, so that's why, so total completely we have minus mg. Just we replaced a word by z, because a is a constant. Okay, a is a constant, so a will be equal to z. Keywords are oblique or angular projectile motion, horizontal projectile motion. Look at over here. uh, we have formula Vx is equal to Ex plus At. This is also known as equation equation of motion. V is equal to u plus At. V is equal to u plus At. This is an equation of motion. V is our final velocity of object which is covering x x. U is our initial velocity. V is final velocity. U is initial velocity. A is our acceleration, T is the time. So remember, we there is an arrow which is showing that it's a vector. So initial velocity is our vector, final velocity is our vector, and initial velocity is also our vector. Initial this acceleration vector is this acceleration is also vector, which is a downward. Next, next equation, which is the equation of motion. This is used for calculating displacement. S is for displacement. So S is equal to ut plus half at square. Next we have third equation of motion, which is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Same, just here x. Remember this side is for x and this side is for y. Concept remember, a projectile is any body which once thrown or projected into a space with some initial velocity moves therefore under the influence of gravity and air resistance alone. Yeah, we know that if something is being thrown in a space, then resistance will be our air, or it will be happening. This motion will be happening under gravity. Resistance is air. Projectile motion. Now we have this thing. We have this thing. Projectile motion. This is a projection, a perspective of a vector for projectile motion. For projectile motion. Look at over here. The vertical motion of a ball. Let's just say this is a ball. Ball is going like this. The acceleration due to gravity is causing the ball to adding vector. Slow down as it goes up. Remember, as this ball will be going upward, it means velocity will be decreasing. Ball is going down upward, velocity is decreasing. When when this when this ball is coming downward, then velocity will be decreasing. Velocity will be decreasing. In initial, at the initial phase, velocity will be decreasing as it will be going upward. And this top here velocity will become zero. This is where velocity will become zero. Decreasing, then increasing. Velocity will be increasing here and then here. After it becomes zero, then this velocity will decrease. Okay. Slow down as it goes up on vertical motion at the top. Here, here is where our vertical will become zero. This will be known as gravitation. That is happening in under gravity. Projectile motion is a combination of the two motions. First x and second is y. Speed up as it comes down. Yeah, I have told you when it will come downward, then then velocity will increase. Velocity will. Object is coming downward. Velocity. It means velocity is increasing. When object will be going downward, velocity will be decreasing. Acceleration will be constant, which will be minus 10. Which will be minus 10. I hope you are understanding it very well. Is this thing clear? The horizontal motion of the ball. There is a no force in the x direction. In this direction, there is no force. So there is a hold on. It is saying there is a no force in the x direction, so there is a no acceleration. Wherever you are observing that there is a no force, then you can say that acceleration is zero. No force is equal to no acceleration. No force is equal to no acceleration. Hmm. Equation of a path. This equation is a path is known as a trajectory equation. Trajectory equation. Concept reminder. This is the equation of a path just for y. I think no. This is the equation of path. Means it is a equation of a trajectory. Equation of this. From this you will get quadratic equation. Yeah, you heard right. Quadratic equation. Means what will be your coordinates over here? What will be your coordinates at this point? Value of x and value of y. You will get this point by using this equation of a path, which is equal to y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square upon 2u square cos square theta. Okay, you will have to substitute this value x tan. You will see a lot of questions based on this equation of a trajectory. One thing I am emphasizing, which is this will give you a lot of a time quadratic equation. So it's important for you that uh, clear your concept regarding this quadratic equation so that you cannot face any kind of challenges just for quadratic equation. Y is equal to x tan 1 minus x upon r. R is nothing but range. Let's explore it. This point this point was about the coordinates. How to find this coordinates, location of this ball. So to get this thing, we will use this equation, which is the equation of path. Equation of a path. At the time t, particle is at point P. For x-axis, for x-axis, x is equal to, yeah, which formula, which equation? I would say second equation. S is equal to ut plus half at square. So x is nothing but this is a displacement. Okay, as we know ax is equal to 0, acceleration along x-axis is 0. So x is equal to u is the initial velocity along x-axis. So just to calculate x displacement, we can use s equation, second equation of motion. S is equal to ut plus half at square. From this you will get value of x. Now acceleration is 0, so this term will become 0, means ut x is equal to u cos theta t. Ux is, it is nothing but u cos theta, and t will be as it. So t will be equal to x upon u cos theta. It means to find the time, you can use this equation. x upon u cos theta. For y axis, y is equal to ut plus half at square. So acceleration will not be constant. This will be constant, which will be minus 10. So u sin theta. U sin theta is the value of uy. T will be as it minus 10 half gt as y. A is equal to z. This is our second equation. This was your first equation. This is your second equation. We have some key points. Equation of a trajectory points of a projectile. This was equation of a trajectory point of a projectile. Let's see more thing about this. From equation 1 and 2, you will get this equation. U is equal to y is equal to u sin theta multiple x upon u cos theta minus 1 upon 2z into x upon u cos theta raised to power 2. After simplifying this, you will get this equation, which will be y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square upon g 2u square cos square theta, which is this is your complete equation for for getting trajectory coordinates. Sorry. From here you will get your coordinates, location of a particle, location of object. Rack your brain. The equation of a projectile is y is equal to 16x minus 5x square upon 4. Find horizontal range. Okay, you can ignore this thing. We will see it later. Let tan theta is equal to a, and this tan theta is equal to a. So this will become xa, and this is equal to beta. So x tan xa minus beta, ax minus b x square, b x square. This is happening. This is an equation of a parabola. Here you can see this thing. This thing is nothing but here x is a variable. This x is another variable. BAB is our constant. This is a number which is not a variable number. Y is also constant number. X is a, so degree, highest degree is 2. That's why we can call it as a quadratic equation. Now next thing, let's see. Next thing. Next is this is the equation of a parabola. So path of a projectile is parabolic. When it comes to minus, this minus means parabolic will look like this. This is also parabolic and this is also parabolic, but this is a positive. This is a positive and this will be your negative. So if you are observing this, the symbol which is a negative, so parabolic will look like this. If this was a positive, parabolic will look like this. Y is equal to x tan theta, x tan theta, x tan theta. Now look at over here. Look at over here. Here r is nothing but this x is the x coordinate, R is nothing but horizontal. This is our horizontal. Tan theta, it is also nothing but just this velocity, this tan, this resulting vector you can see, which will make some angle. Vertical component of velocity is 0. When particle moves horizontally at the highest point of trajectory, we will see it later. Now explore let's explore this thing. As we know till till here that this is nothing but u cos theta. This was our u sin theta, and this is our u cos theta. Point of projection will be over here. So now from now we will call this point, we will call it as a POP, means point of a projection, and this top of a projectile, TOP, top of a projectile. Here is where our velocity will be 0. Point of incident, this point will be our point of incidence, POI. Short name will be POI. Point of incident, POP, point of projection. U is the initial velocity of object. Okay. Hmm. Anywhere you can see over here, uh, this ux velocity of ux will be constant. If it is 60, over here this will be 60. Over here it will be also 60, because of acceleration is 0. That's why. Because of acceleration is 0. At the POP, point of a projection, this POP, U velocity of this will be equal to, it is talking about this, okay, this will be equal to U cos theta I cap, this is considered as I cap, U cos theta plus U sin theta, then we will get this vector U vector. Okay, so remember this thing, brother. This is a combination of U cos theta and U sin theta z cap, U sin theta plus U cos theta. For this second, at a TOP, top of a projectile, it is talking about this top, this top. So this V will be, it is nothing but, it is going to be fixed U cos theta, this will be our fixed, and plus 0, and here our velocity will become 0 at over here velocity along y-axis will become 0, but velocity along x-axis will be constant. Okay, from this you understood that velocity along horizontal will be same when it comes to at the highest point, but velocity for along y-axis will become 0 when it comes to at the highest point. I hope you have understood. Now next, this POI means point of impact or point of incident, where ball or object will come will hit the ground from upward. So over here, this acceleration, or you can say this velocity, will be equal to initial. This will be constant. So this velocity will be equal to u cos theta, this which is a constant, minus, because this is a downward and initial this was a upward. So just this value will be same, magnitude will be same, but direction will be opposite, u sin theta z. Okay, so to calculate this state, this vector velocity vector, just change this symbol. This symbol will become negative. The reason is that this is a downward, that's why. Concept, remember, at highest point of projectile, at highest point over here acceleration will be perpendicular to velocity. This acceleration will be perpendicular to, like this will be our velocity, this is our velocity, and this is our acceleration. At this point, acceleration will be perpendicular to velocity. At any point for y-axis, at any point for y-axis, to calculate y-axis at any point, we can use this formula, which is the equation of motion, first equation of motion. V is equal to u plus at. So this is the initial velocity of object which is along y-axis. This was the final velocity, and this is the initial velocity of object which is along y-axis, and this is the acceleration of y-axis, t will be t. Throughout the motion, fx will be nothing but 0, because here m is 0. So here we ignore force, we will ignore force. So horizontal component of velocity will be u cos theta, which is equal to cos theta, because here acceleration is going to be 0, that's why there will be no force along horizontal axis. At the highest point, acceleration and velocity are mutually perpendicular to each other. Yeah, this is talking about this will be perpendicular to velocity. Now next point, which is the time of flight. It means what was that time that object took just to stay in air. To stay in air, that object took time is the time of a flight. This In this motion, how much time was taken by this object just to cover this distance which was in air. So total time will be our time of flight. Ut and u, yeah, ut along x-axis plus ut along y-axis will be equal to time of flight. The time taken by projectile motion, point of projection and point of impact, is known as the time of flight. This half, and this half will be equal to time of flight. That is how you will find. Definition: the time taken by projectile between point of projection and point of impact is known as the time of flight. When projectile reach at point of impact, then its height becomes zero. It means I have told you a lot of times. Meaning of this is over here. This is known as a highest point where object will reach its distance. This this is the highest point just for this object. So over here velocity is going to be zero. Now in this side velocity will increase, and in this side velocity will increase. If a time taken is a t during motion between points, so this is just for y will be ut plus 1 upon t. So t time taken at t. So this will be your equation where s is a 0. From this, these two things will come out. These two things will come out. Definition is during projectile motion, maximum height attained by object on vertical axis is known as maximum height. Maximum height. To calculate time of flight, this is our very smart equation, which is t is equal to 2 u y upon z. From this you will get time of flight, or another we have t is equal to 2 u sin theta, which is just for vertical. Okay, horizontal will be constant, that's why this is only for vertical. T is equal to 2 u sin theta upon g. G is the acceleration. These two things came just from this, where s displacement is 0. S is a 0. Now let's see. Maximum height means this point. During projectile motion, maximum height attained by object. Yeah, we have seen this sentence. So this vertical is a u sin theta, this horizontal is a u cos theta, this is theta. This is our initial velocity, which is a combination of these two component. And here this is a high point which velocity is equal to, so vy is equal to 0, vx is not equal to 0, vx will be constant, which is a ux is a u cos theta. So remember, ux is equal to u cos theta, uy is equal to u sin theta. Okay, this highest, this will be known as h max, you can say maximum height. In short, h max at maximum height. How to calculate this h? You can use the second equation of motion. Second equation of motion at maximum height. As we know, this is going to be 0. So from here you will get your h, where s is h. So we quote these two things just to calculate h, height. Okay, height, which will come in centimeter, meter, kilometer. So this is equal to u square upon 2g, and the second you have, which is h is equal to u square into sin square theta upon 2g. Okay, at theta is equal to sin theta, theta is equal to 90 degree. As we saw that acceleration is perpendicular to velocity, so when it comes to perpendicular, so theta is going to be 90 degree. Perpendicular means 90 degree. H becomes maximum height, so greatest, this will be our greatest height. HMX is equal to, we have seen this thing, HMX is equal to u square 2z. 2z, this became this much u square 2z. How? because sine 90 degree is going to be 1. Sine 90 degree is going to be 1. That's why. Concept reminder is for oblique projectile t is equal to 2 uy upon c and h is equal to. Now from now we will use this thing to calculate time of flight, to calculate maximum height, to calculate a range u multiple t, u multiple t. So horizontal range will be equal to h max. To calculate range for ux, we just multiple initial velocity of ux by time of flight if a solution is 0. During projectile motion, distance traveled on x-axis is known as horizontal range. This is our horizontal. To calculate this thing, we will calculate ux multiple time of flight. Time taken to reach at point from point A is the time of flight. This from A to B. For x-axis. So from here you will get ut. T is nothing but this is the time of flight. That is how we will get a range for ux. There are keywords time of flight, maximum height, horizontal range. Question will ask these things. R is equal to ux into t. T is nothing but time of flight. T can be written as 2u y upon z. So finally we will get this thing 2ux uy upon z. Ux is nothing but initial velocity, or you can say u, only u. 2ux uy upon z means initial velocity 2 multiple initial velocity upon z. R is going to be, so ux can be written as u cos theta into uy can be written as u sin theta, u sin theta upon z. You will get this thing u square 2 sin cos theta. 2 sin theta cos theta can be written as sin 2 theta upon z. This thing will happen. So finally equation will come out r is equal to u square sin theta upon z. So you can use this thing just to calculate range. Otherwise you have short equation which is r is equal to ux upon ux into t. At theta is equal to 45, range becomes maximum 45. Here is where range will become maximum. Now you have question answers. Now you have question answer, but just let me complete this range thing. Remember, when it comes to range, what is that place where horizontal range will be maximum? So that theta will be 45 degree. Over here, our range will be maximum. So just substitute the value of theta as a 45, you will get this thing. So sin 45 is going to be 1 upon 2. 1 upon 2. Value of a height when range is maximum will be equal to h is equal to u square upon 4z. Relation between r and h. R is a range for x-axis. H is also range, but it is for y-axis. Here we can see what is the relation. This is a sin 2 theta and this is sin of square theta. Here is a z, here is a 2z. From these two equations, we will get this thing. R tan theta is equal to 4z, where r is a range, h is a height. from downward to ground to highest point. Relation between. This is about a relation between range and height. Okay. Now let's see one question. At what angle horizontal range becomes n times of maximum height? According to question, we know R is equal to NH. N is a natural number. R can be written as U square sine 2 theta upon G, and N will be as it. H can be written as U square sine square theta 2G. So tan theta will be our 4 upon N. That is how you will calculate your answer.